All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to you, sincere, hopeful, elect, Akim, pushing the word of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, in spirit and in truth. All right, coming back at you with another lesson. I'm the brother Chassad with Great Millstone Northwest. And in this lesson, I want to touch upon pretty much Babylon the Great's judgment. And one of the main reasons why this place is going to be judged is because Esau has committed the most gruesome, heinous crimes to any race of people on planet Earth here in America. All right. And it just so happens that the people that he enacted those crimes out upon, are the Israelites. Okay. Now, the Most High has this, we have discontinued from our heritage. Okay. Being that the Heavenly Father allowed us to forget who we are, to forget who we were, go by various titles and proverbs and bywords, be recognized by those, even recognized by a color. Okay, you got a lot of Israelites considering themselves brown or black or or whatnot. So us discontinuing from our heritage had it to where Esau was able to pretty much use us as a science experiment. And part of that science experiment was, Esau just bringing total hell upon us, the Israelites, in which that hell is not over. Okay, it's gonna get worse. All right, it's gonna get worse because we still gotta make it through Jacob's trouble. All right, but nevertheless, the scriptures do clearly illustrate that America will be destroyed for what he's done to the Heavenly Father's chosen. All right, so this is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 33. It says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together." Okay. Now, here in the Americas, in particular, America, all right, USA, Babylon the Great, this captivity here, we served together. All right. We all caught hell, here in the Americas, but in particular, all the tribes, all right, the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom, both caught hell here in, the Americas or America. Okay. You had the Northern Kingdom brethren that was already over here. And sometime afterward, we, the Southern Kingdom, were brought here to, serve out captivity. All right. And, you got all 12 tribes here currently here in America. All right. Especially with the migrants that came up, years past. All right. You got all 12 tribes here in America getting their ass kicked. Okay. So it says the children of Judah, it says the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. All right. So we're still this day in our captivity, as the book of Baruch tells us. All right. To this day, we're in captivity. All right. This is a open air prison. All right, here in America, the planet period, but here in America, this is an open air prison. Okay. It says, verse 34, their Redeemer is strong. The Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. Okay. So I'm going to read. So like at verse 34 in NLT, it says, but the one who redeems them is strong. His name is Yahweh of heaven's armies. He will defend them and give them rest again in Israel. Okay, so our ultimate resting place as Israelites is in the land of Israel. It's not here in America. And you've had a lot of Israelites, all right, whether they know they're Israelites or not, that have attempted to make America their resting place, which is a stupid thing to do, because look at the state of this economy. You know, we went into it on our live show earlier, the Acumen. We went into the Haggai. You know how, as an Israelite, you're gonna be putting money into a bag that got holes in it. All right, you ain't gonna accumulate anything. So like accumulate anything here in America that's gonna be lasting. All right, because this is not our rest, as the scriptures say. Okay. So, verse 34, I'm going to start it from the top again in the NLT, Jeremiah 50 and 34 NLT. But the one who redeems them is strong. His name is Yahweh of heaven's armies. He will defend them and give them rest again in Israel. But for the people of Babylon, there will be no rest. Okay, so ain't gonna be no rest for these Babylonians. And everything these Babylonians is doing is out of hope of this place being made great again. You know, the good old days where, Esau could just be a damn demon, and you got to move out of the way. You know, that's the mindset of an Edomite, that old school 90s Edomite, you know, ready to get carnal and violent, all right, and just shoot you for no reason, knowing that they're gonna get off and get away with it, shit like that. You know, that's what these Edomites want, America to go back to. All right. But it's not going back to that. And ultimately, like I said, like the scripture says, we'll have rest in Israel after the Lord destroys this place. But for these people, these Babylonians, while they're here, while this place still exists, while America still exists, there will be no rest for these people. All right. Now, let me read Revelation 18. All right. And this is going into the destruction of America. And I'm going to just read down. The point I want to get to is at the bottom. But it's beautiful to just read about, everything this place has made its money off of, accumulated as well from dealing in, being completely burnt up. All right. So Revelation 18:1 in the NLT, it says, after all this, I saw another angel come down from heaven with great authority, and the earth grew bright with his splendor. He gave a mighty shout, Babylon is fallen, that great city is fallen. She has become a home for demons. She is an hideout for every foul spirit, and a hideout for every foul vulture and every foul and dreadful animal. Okay, so desert-like creatures that are able to live in a desert-like climate are going to be, the living soul, so to say, that um, dwell in America after it's become that desert. Okay, you won't have human, no human soul will ever traverse this landmass. Okay, known as America, after it's destroyed. Okay, um, verse 3 says, "For all nations have fallen because of the wine of her passionate immorality. The kings of the world have committed adultery with her. Because of her desires for extravagant luxury, the merchants of the world have grown rich." Okay, so at one point in time, this place actually produced, extravagant luxury. All right, things that were considered delicate and of value. America actually produced things of that nature at one point in time. All right, not so much anymore. Verse 4 says, "Then I heard another voice calling from heaven, come away from her, my people. Do not take part in her sins, or you will be punished with her." All right, so when you come into the truth, all right, you run into the prophets, whether that's physically or via YouTube or whatever, social media um, outlet, so to say. All right, and you actually take hold to, the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right, the spirit takes hold of you. And you spiritually divest from Babylon. All right, you no longer celebrate Black History Month and Christmas and your birthday and Halloween and Thanksgiving and bullshit like that. Okay, which ultimately, you do that prior to actually being beamed up. Okay, because this voice is going to be said in the Hebrew. Come out of her, my people. And that's going to be, the angels. All right, the angels. You have first and foremost starting with Yahweh Shai, beaming up the elect, so that way the elect is not left here in America to be destroyed with these Edomites in 2/3 and heathen. Okay. Verse 5 in the NLT, it says, "For her sins are piled as high as heaven, and the Most High remembers her evil deeds." And when you look at the track record of America, and then just let alone Donald Trump and what he's done within a year of being in office, you can see, him being in office is just a reminder of all the evil deeds that America has to pay for, man. Okay. It says, "Due to her as she has done to others, double her penalty for all her evil deeds. She brewed a cup of terror for others. She brewed twice as much. So brewed twice as much for her." Okay, so this place is gonna be hit with double double destruction, so to say. All right, verse 7. "She glorified herself and lived in luxury. So match it now with torment and sorrow. She boasted in her heart, 'I am a queen on my throne. I am no helpless widow, and I have no reason to mourn.'" Okay, and that's the mindset of these women. This is reminiscent of the mindset of these women. The new age woman is "Oh, I'm a queen," which the word queen means a whore. So these women all have a whorish mindset and, live in pleasure. All right. And never envision themselves as being, you know, helpless as a widow. Okay, because a widow is a woman who, her husband is passed. All right, now a woman who's always was in order, so to say, had a husband, depended on her husband. He was the protector, provider, so on and so forth. If that man was to pass, all right, and say for instance she's up in age and not found attractive anymore, she's gonna be helpless, man. If she does, especially if she doesn't have family. Okay, so America never envisions itself as being pretty much a third world country. Okay, but that is quickly what this place is turning into. Okay, verse 8 it says, "Therefore these plagues will overtake her in a single day: death and mourning and famine. She will be completely consumed by fire. For the Lord God who judges her is mighty, and the kings of the world who committed adultery with her and enjoyed her great luxury will mourn for her as they see the smoke rising from her charred remains." Okay, so these heathen nations, is gonna actually see that mushroom clouds ascend to the sky as a result of this place being nuked. Okay, verse 10 it says, "They will stand at a distance, terrified by her great torment. They will cry out, how terrible for you, O Babylon, you great city. In a single moment, the Most High's judgment came on you. The merchants of the world will weep and mourn for her, for there is no one left to buy their goods." All right. And America being a consumer-based society, all they do is purchase the goods from all these other nations. And in return, that has, propped up the economies and brought wealth to these other nations. All right. So they're not going to want to see the cash cow destroyed. That's about as far as their welling and weeping goes, the fact that they lost the cash cow. Where they gonna get some money from? Who gonna buy they product? Okay, this place, America, is filled with a bunch of damn crackheads, man. A bunch of everybody's on some type of drug, man. So with with these people, these hundreds of millions of people gone up in smoke in 1 hour, that's gonna hurt Amazon. Could you imagine all the money that Amazon's gonna lose? With America, the population of America completely destroyed. Think about that, man. Minus the elect getting delivered here, from here in Babylon. Let me see. Verse 12 it says, "She bought great quantities of gold, silver." All right, so this is the things that America bought. Quantities of gold, silver, jewels, and pearls, fine linen, purple silk, and scarlet cloth, things made of fragrant thine wood, ivory goods, and objects made of expensive wood and bronze, iron, and marble. She also bought cinnamon, spice, incense, myrrh, frankincense, wine, olive oil, fine flour, wheat, cattle, sheep, horses, chariots, and bodies, that is, human slaves. Okay? Human slaves. Going back to what I read in Jeremiah 50 and 33. The children of Israel and Judah were oppressed together. Okay? You had Israelites being sold on auctioning blocks, all right, here in America for a long time. All right? For hundreds of years, man, you had Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans getting sold like commodities. All right, the very soil we stand on is defiled soil, man. Verse 14, it says, "The fancy things you love so much are gone. They cry, all your luxuries and splendor are gone forever, never to be yours again." Okay. It says, "The merchants who became wealthy by selling her these things will stand at a distance, terrified by her great torment. They will weep and cry out, how terrible for that great city. She was clothed in finest purple and scarlet linens, decked out with gold and precious stones and pearls. In a single moment, all the wrath of the city is gone, and all the captains of the merchant ships and their passengers and sailors and crews will stand at a distance. They will cry out as they watch the smoke ascend, and they will say, where is there another city as great as this?" Okay, so what city you know, all right, what country you know can be blown up, all right, taken out in 1 hour and have the merchants of the whole planet Earth jacked up, just catch, weeping and welling because of, the money they gonna lose out on as a result of that, the said country being destroyed. All right, so that's how you know it's America. Okay, this being the place where both the northern and the southern kingdom was catching hell together. All right, in prior captivities, it wasn't like that. All right, in certain captivities. All right, because the northern kingdom was already over here when we were, the southern kingdom was catching hell under the Romans, the Greeks and the Romans. All right. Let me see. Verse 19, it says, "And they will weep and throw dust on their heads and to show their grief, and they will cry out, how terrible for that great city. The ship owners became wealthy by transporting her great wealth on the seas. In a single moment, it is all gone." All right. So in a single moment, done, forgotten about. Okay. Verse 20 says, rejoice over her fate, O heaven, and people of the Most High, and apostles and prophets. All right. So we are to rejoice when the Lord brings us destruction. All right. Rejoice over her fate, O heaven, and people of the Most High. And who's the people of the Most High? The Israelites. Okay. So we are, as an Israelite, you're supposed to be in your right mind and rejoice at the fact that this place is going to be destroyed. Okay. And apostles and prophets, for at last the Most High has judged her for your sakes. for us, the Heavenly Father is going to destroy this place. And that's something to be thankful for, man. To know that the hell you catching is not in vain. That at the end of it, the Most High is going to completely destroy this place so bad, ain't shit going to grow here, man. You know? Verse 21, it says, Then a mighty angel picked up a boulder the size of a huge millstone. He threw it into the ocean and shouted just like this: The great city Babylon will be thrown down with violence and will never be found again. All right, and those are those ICBM missiles coming from Russia, from China, North Korea, all right, Iran, whatever nations have the capability of getting a thermonuclear missile to reach here to America is going to do so at the precipice of World War III. All right. It says, verse 22, it says, The sound of harps, singers, flutes, and trumpets will never be heard in you again. And you got to remind yourself that it's like, I'm tired as hell, man. It's like the record industry here in America is responsible for, musical influence all around the world. You got, American music that people all over the world listen to. People all over the world have been influenced by American music to where they fashion their music after American music, So all that's going to be destroyed. All right, that demonic influence won't be able to be spread throughout the earth, causing people to do wicked shit by means of music and all that. Being the enchantments that come with this demonic ass music. Okay, verse 22, it says, The sound of harps, singers, flutes, and trumpets will never be heard in you again. No craftsmen, all right, and no trades will ever be found in you again. All right, no construction. All right, no any type of building going on. The sound of the mill will never be heard in you again. Okay, no warehouse. You got people in there working with iron and metal and clink, 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 ching, ching, all that. No, none of that. Okay. It says the light of a lamp will never shine in you again. The happy voices of brides and grooms will never be heard in you again. All these people getting married. Okay. It says, For your merchants were the greatest in the world, and you deceived the nations with your sorceries. And it ain't nothing but sorcery that America pushes out, especially with, Palantir and AI and, this whole tech industry and the market of beasts and all. It's all witchcraft, man. It's all sorcery. America was founded on witchcraft and sorcery. All right. Its origins, its inception was in wickedness. And it has polluted this place. And that pretty much poison has just corrupted every facet of society. So the Lord is, he got to destroy this place. All right. Verse 24, it says, In your streets flowed the blood of the prophets. And who are the prophets? Okay, the men of the Lord. The righteous Israelites, that serve Yahweh Shem Yahushai. The men, all right, the men who are are divinely inspired by the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the prophets, man. Okay, so from slavery times to, you know, the time of Jacob's trouble. All right. Jeremiah 30:7. All right, Daniel 12. We about to approach a time in which, you know, some of the prophets is going to be persecuted, but that blood, you know, is going to be the Lord is going to get. He's going. What am I trying to say? He's going to get payback on America for that. All right, so all the bloodshed of the prophets in the ancient, not ancient world, but in times past when we was physically in slavery. All right, because we all went through that. They got to pay for that. America has to pay for that, man. By way of this place being completely destroyed. And the people that are left here are going to be likened unto goats. All right, to be sacrificed. So once again, verse 24 says, "In your streets flowed the blood of the prophets and of the Most High's holy people." And we about to really see that blood start flowing, you know, with these ICE raids and all this persecution and Jacob's trouble. We about to be hunted. Well, we already are hunted. Israelites are being hunted right now, man. It's only going to get worse. It's going to get crazy out here. All right. It says, and the Most High's holy people and the blood of people slaughtered all over the world, man. All right, people slaughtered all over the world. You got America is responsible for, you know, a lot of death that has taken place all over the planet. Just look at how drones are utilized to drop bombs on certain people in the Middle East. You know, what we just witnessed recently with Iran. All right, the attempted regime change. All right, funded and backed by the small hats. You know, them giving their operatives orders to kill Iranians. You know, that bloodshed. You know, America's responsible for that. You know, along with the small hats. All right, because they work in tandem. But those are just some examples, man, of how the blood that is shed all over the world, America has its hand in that, man. Okay? But more importantly, what Esau here in America has done to the Israelites, to God's chosen people, to Yahweh Shem Yahushua's chosen people, they got to pay for that. And the way they are going to pay for it, the way this country is going to pay for that, is by way of thermonuclear destruction. All right? So I just want to bring that out. Abaratazah. This has been an edifying lesson. Until next time, Shalom.